Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Cheers to that. Hi everyone. How are you today? So nice to be here. It is day 3 of what is it? It's day 3 of finish August with 5 days of fun, love, and a fresh perspective. And it is a new day. Here we are. We're together, whether you're watching me live on the replay. You know, I always would love to know who's here. So please feel free to say hello in the comments or put your favorite emoji so I can give you a shout out. I would appreciate that because I'm here to connect. So welcome to Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Some like to call it hump day. And I don't think that I ever have. And I probably never will. But I just acknowledged it right now. Okay, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, welcome. Hey, you guys. Some of you know me as Minnie Tonka. I'm a burlesque dancer. Hi. And some of you know me as Alyssa. I am a certified functional nutritional therapy practitioner and a wellness coach. And I love coming to you live and sharing my reflections on the affirmation of the day. I've been doing this for many, many months on my Alyssa at Wellness HQ page here on Facebook and in my private wellness group. And this month I really decided I wanted to open up and connect with all of my friends and community here on my Minnie Tonka profile. And just to remind you that here I am. I'm a nutritional therapist and wellness coach, and this is what I do in addition to burlesque, which is, you know, on hiatus for the time being. So I am happy that you're here. Thank you. Please feel free to put your name or say hi in the comments. Yo, what's up? Your favorite emoji. And so one of my favorite things to do is to come here live and share my reflections on the day. I have the affirmation of the day from this daily calendar. It's called You Can Do It. It's from one of my teachers. Her name is Louise Hay. And she has really been a powerful force in my life and my own healing journey when I've been working on for several years to change my thoughts and my mindset and my thinking around I have an autoimmune disease and it's rheumatoid arthritis. So I've just dealt with a lot of chronic pain and fatigue, and part of my healing journey is to really work on my mindset and learn self-compassion and how to not be judgmental. And Louise Hay and her affirmations and her teachings really were some of the first many, many years ago that really I connected with, that really helped me heal. And so that's why I'm here, to share my love and her love and my reflections. Also, just, you know, I say this, I think I've been saying this almost every day, my philosophy on positive affirmations is that I think they can really enhance our lives. I love them. I think they're great. But I don't think the goal is to always be happy or always be positive, as that's just not a human, realistic thing. I think it's really important for us to, you know, just have the human experience of a range of emotions, positive and negative. But I think that most of us really do want to strive towards an openness and feeling more connected and grounded and positive. And so reflecting on the affirmations of the day gives us that opportunity. It gives me the opportunity to share with you my reflections off the cuff. So it's always a fun challenge for me. And, but it's just like a different way to kind of like look at an affirmation that might not resonate with you. For example, if you read it and you're like, that doesn't apply, moving on. But how it actually can, and how maybe you can, you're here because clearly you're a reflective, self-reflective, thoughtful human who's interested in expanding your heart and your mind and connecting and getting to know yourself better and just, into self-growth. So these reflections and my take on them is an opportunity to really reconsider maybe your mindset and your thoughts around something, and that can maybe better enhance your life. So that is why I'm here. And if you are here live or on the replay, please feel free to say hello in the comments so I know who's here so I can give you a shout out. Okay, and here we go. I am going to, this is yesterday's affirmation. We're going to say, farewell Tuesday. Bye-bye. Wednesday, August 26th, 2020. Okay. My boss is generous. I always feel appreciated at work. Okay, I just had a little there's a little sarcasm in my voice. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna just say I apologize for that. And I'm just gonna be neutral. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. I'm expanding my mind and my heart. Here we go. My boss is generous. I always feel appreciated at work. My boss is generous. I always feel appreciated at work. Okay. Here it is, y'all. This one, I don't know, is really hard for me. And I'll share why. Hey, if this is you, rock the F on. Or if you want this to be you, let's just take a screenshot save it for later. My boss is generous. I always feel appreciated at work. I just would like to share that there is, I think that you probably can relate that like in your life, you see like patterns happening in your life, in different areas of your life. Well, one of them for me has always been bosses. And it has been so freaking mind-blowing to me that I continue over the course of my life to have bosses with similar patterns. They are very controlling. They are micromanaging. They are domineering. And it's in a healthy environment. And it has been really hard for me for many of my jobs. And, so when I read this affirmation, my boss is generous. I always feel appreciated at work. My first reaction is, no. I mean, I think about, okay, yes, everyone is generous in some capacity. I always feel appreciated at work. That has not been the case in my work. I've always really kind of felt that I had to, and this is also internal, not necessarily external from my controlling, micromanaging, unhealthy bosses, but that I need to prove how worthy I am in the workplace by overworking and being underpaid. And I worked in nonprofit for many, many years. And it's kind of expected that like when you do what you love, you fucking work your ass off and you get paid shit because like it's a labor of love. Anyway, so I'm going to try and not to have so much. I feel like you might be able to see in my energy a little bit with this affirmation today. My boss is generous. I always feel appreciated at work. I mean, I also just want to say my current reality is that I'm my own boss. I mean, I guess in burlesque, I'm my own boss. We do have producers that we work with and that we get booked, but in my personal nutritional therapy and wellness coaching practice, I'm my own boss. So, when I think about if I'm my own boss, and I'm generous and I always feel appreciated at work, I feel that to be the case. I feel, I don't want to focus on that, but I just want to acknowledge that because there are many people who are self-employed and figuring shit out. And I think that, wow, I could actually do a whole half an hour spew on appreciating yourself and being generous with yourself. Uh, because that's what I, really am here to help support you do. So, but when I think about, I also, a lot of us are out of work right now. So there's that. But I think whether you're working or not, whether you have a fine relationship with your boss or not, we can all relate. We've all had jobs. We've all worked. We've all been in different situations. And, I just want to ask you, like, where has there been generosity? I have always admired people who absolutely love and adore their bosses and have like the best relationships, with their bosses. And I just think, wow, like, what is it in my lessons on life that I just don't attract, the most wonderful bosses? It's so interesting. But, I do think that, we can kind of take out the word boss and you could flip that with anything. You could say, my mom is generous, or my sister, or my best friend, or my partner, whatever. It's kind of like you can apply that to whatever is important for you right now that you want to work on. But, if we're just thinking about our boss, and is generous, and maybe your boss is generous, bosses usually have another boss. So yes, Claudio, they do. But what do you mean by that? So everyone's, there's boss and then the top of the boss. Then you've got a board of directors and all of that. But I think that I'm gonna kind of just focus a little bit for a minute here on those who may have not had the most fabulous boss relationships, and maybe that is something that hasn't really like been helpful in your work life, and has maybe or maybe that's currently happening right now. But I think that and I always feel appreciated at work. For me, it kind of, one offer I'd like to suggest is communication, because it can always be a friend of, okay, that's true. Yeah, thank you, Claudia. Yes. So I think that, if you're thinking about, I always feel appreciated at work, and I know that a lot of people do feel underappreciated at work, which freaking sucks, especially when you are putting an effort, and then if you're not getting that reinforcement or positive, like validation that you want and deserve, then, I feel like communication can be really hard for some people, but also super important to, especially when you're trying to create healthy lifestyle and healthy boundaries for yourself. Talking about where you might, bringing that up in a conversation or an email or something where, maybe you are feeling uneasy about something or feeling underappreciated, and how can there be a conversation where there comes to a mutual understanding about what is like demanded of you, and then what is, that balance. Claudio, I had to prove myself to really bossy people. That's interesting. I wonder if you're saying, like, instead of taking it literally like my boss at work, you're saying maybe like people in general could be bossy. I wonder if that's what you're saying. That's actually a really interesting take. But I think, for me, something that's been really challenging is, especially in the workplace, oh my God, is to communicate my my feelings effectively. And then I hold on to a lot of like anger or resentment by feeling underappreciated or feeling that my boss isn't generous. So I think, one of the lessons that I have, when I was in positions where I had a boss that maybe wasn't, showing me that appreciation that I was really seeking, is really trying just to be super communicative, because I feel like the scariest thing in the world, honestly, one of the most unhealthy things from my life experience is having a boss that you are maybe even scared of or intimidated by or feel uncomfortable around, and that you can't, and you actually maybe really like your job and what you do, or whether you don't, it kind of doesn't matter. If this is your job and this is what's happening, it's like finding ways to where you get validation, you feel appreciated, and you can really think about, where is your boss generous? So, I mean, I don't know. I know I'm kind of all over the place because this really hits home for me. This is hard for me, this affirmation. But I also think that when we, pick it apart, if we just say my boss is generous, and your dominant thought is that you have an asshole boss or something, well, if you're on my Wellness HQ newsletter, yesterday I wrote a whole new, yes, yesterday is Tuesday, on neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is this fabulous part of our brain's capacity to change and grow and adapt. And where you put your action, your intention, your determination, your thoughts is what reinforces and expands and grows your mind. That's neuroplasticity. So if you're focused on your boss being an asshole and you're feeling underappreciated, that only reinforces those neural pathways in your brain to focus on that. And then what does that do? That brings you that shitty negative energy. You know what I mean? So, if we can take this and just focus on that word generous and appreciated, and really consider, okay, actually, I have these maybe not great thoughts about my boss or my work situation or whatever, but in fact, maybe even taking time to literally write out on paper, every single thing that your boss does that is generous. I mean, maybe that even is saying good morning. Maybe that even is whatever the hell it is. It doesn't matter. It could be teeny tiny, or it could be actually one time your boss was super generous, and that focus on that and really think about that. And then also feeling appreciated. Oh my God, no matter where we are in our lives, it's we want to feel validated and appreciated. Holy crap, that is so huge. That is such a human need. We want to be heard, we want to be valued, we want to be appreciated. And I think that's another thing. It's take a pen to paper and think about where you are appreciated and focus on that. And if there is maybe, some little things that build up, which God knows they do, and we kind of just let that fester, I guess maybe I just want to share an offer that, let's just stop that now. I mean, what the hell, when a global pandemic, no matter what your situation is in life, if there is someone who is bossy, or, your boss at work or whatever, and you are feeling underappreciated, I think the time is now to communicate. Open the conversation, no matter how uncomfortable it might be, because the time is now, guys. Seriously, I mean, we gotta create boundaries and learn to stand up for ourselves and communicate from a place, I think, of just compassion and authenticity when we're in a state of optimism and growth, rather than frustration, and just see, Claudia says, yeah, some bosses will not change. It's true, but the thing is how that phrase, I don't even know what's a phrase, what is it they say, you always hear it's, well, whatever. Basically, you can't change anyone. You can only change yourself. And so where does that start? That starts with the thoughts in your mind and the beliefs that you're thinking. So it's if you're feeling, it's really, really shifting your focus and your mindset to any little tiny thing that your boss might be doing that is generous. Like anything that you could focus on, like they said thank you, that one time or whatever, or you're feeling appreciated. It's just like focusing on that and holding on to that tight to help with that neuroplasticity, to help like rewire your brain and your thoughts and shift that energy in your body, in your brain and in your body to feeling valued and appreciated. But then, I do know that for many people, it is a lot easier to have uncomfortable conversations, especially to stick up for yourself. It's definitely been something that's a challenge for me. So openness breeds openness. Oh my God. Amen. Thank you for saying that. Openness breeds openness. It is true. As scary or intimidating or whatever as it may be, I think that I actually just want to tell a story. This is interesting. It relates to bosses. Thank you, Satine, for saying that. I love that. What's interesting is, I'm a burlesque dancer. I've been doing it for 16 years, and I've always felt, I started performing in 2004 when I was, and I was producing Jewish arts and cultural events at that time here in New York City. And so I was very open to what I was doing and shared my burlesque endeavors. And it kind of actually also became a part of some of the events that I would produce were Jewish themed burlesque shows under the umbrella of my job. So that was super generous of my boss, and who is one of the most challenging bosses I've ever had in my life. And but I've always felt really comfortable and proud that I do burlesque. And every job or every person that I've encountered since, I'm very transparent because I feel very comfortable in what I do in burlesque. I've always just said, oh, I do burlesque, which literally every job since, I have had my bosses or coworkers come and see me perform. So that's interesting. The openness breeds openness. So, and I know a lot of people, and I don't want to, a lot of people in burlesque have this struggle where they feel very uncomfortable about it and they hide it from their bosses or their family. And I do not want to say that you're doing anything wrong, like your situation is different. But I feel like by coming from this energy of feeling confident and comfortable in the fact that I do burlesque and sharing it with my coworkers and my boss, then they receive that energy. You know what I mean? They receive that openness. So that openness breeds openness. I love that. And I think that, I'm looking at this affirmation, I always feel appreciated at work. My boss is generous. I think that, yeah, it's kind of like a lesson in me feeling comfortable sharing that I'm a burlesque performer and being super open about it, like extending that confidence and openness to, I deserve to communicate my potential issues of feeling, underappreciated, I just want to look. So are there ways to feel appreciated in your job other than bosses? Oh, totally. Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point. But I do think a lot of us, seek validation from our bosses, and maybe people are scared that they're going to get fired, or, you know what I mean? Like, but absolutely, I think, you gotta, start from within, of course, and then being vulnerable, advocating for yourself is hard. It's so hard. I mean, I just want to say, like, I have admired people who can just stand up for themselves and communicate these things. Like, holy crap, that is a lifelong lesson for me. But yeah, Claudia, open dialogues, and enlarge in the dialogues that are open. Totally. So you guys are with me, like, And then, yeah, I gotta do what I always do. Add what if. What if my boss is generous? What if I always feel appreciated at work? Kind of like releases that tension, right? What if? What if my boss is generous? What if I always feel appreciated at work? So it's like maybe you're looking for a new job right now, and maybe you haven't had the most fabulous bosses, or maybe you've always had great bosses and you're just like, that's your life's, that's a part of your great karma in life. But just kind of setting that intention, like, what if my boss is generous, and what if I always feel appreciated at work? That is super cool. I love that feeling. That I love that, adding that what if, because I do feel that it pushes our energy forward, and it offers this place for wonder and hope, and in imagining possibilities that we want to bring about and create, because we are bringing this energy of generosity or appreciation to our work, and those are coworkers and our boss. And so it's like, if we, even, hey, it's like, shifting the culture, if you're in a toxic work environment, whoo, like, being that person who is always generous, and who maybe, like, your freaking, work meetings, your Zoom calls, whatever the hell it is, like, even offering, like, to your boss, hey, what if, like, every week we, did da da da, like, what's, ever give a shout out to one person every week. You know what I mean? Like, there's also ways for you to, if this is something you're really striving for and you really want, which who doesn't? It's like taking control, taking charge. This is another way to stand up for yourself than just like a one-on-one conversation with your boss, like helping shift culture. Like, it also could be family, and your family, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, just bringing in your positive energy, in your creative ways to shift the energy and culture to generosity, to communication, to appreciation, right? See, not being oh God, is, yeah, no one wants to. Yeah, I know, and that's why this one's so hard for me, because unfortunately I have had, I have had bosses that have been so micromanaging. And what's interesting, they always say, like, whatever is in front of you is what you do, or whatever. And then I feel like not so much anymore, but I do feel like I have had those kind of control tendencies, for sure, in other areas of my life, whether it be burlesque, and really feeling like what I'm, like, my press release that I wrote is better than someone else that I'm working on. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing. Like, that's a whole other topic. But, I do think that these situations that are uncomfortable and bring us unease are just like opportunities for lessons, right? I mean, and as hard as it can be, I think we're all here connecting right here, right now, and you're here with me because, like I said before, and I'll say it all the time, like, you are a self-reflective, self-aware, emotionally aware, intelligent person who wants to grow and change and communicate and take better care of yourself and those around you. So, on that note, let's just also say, what if I am always generous? What if I always show people appreciation? What if I'm always generous and I always show people appreciation? See, this is what can happen. Where are we? We're at 12:30. So this is what can happen with these affirmations. It's like, take one look at this, and my initial one was like, you gotta be effing kidding me. And now I'm inspired, and I'm reflecting more, and I hope that this, oh, I felt like my Minnesota accent just came out. Hope that this is just, thought provoking for you. You guys, today has been day 3 of what is it called? It's called Finish August with 5 days of fun, love, and a fresh perspective. So hopefully this has been fun. Hopefully you felt my love, and hopefully I've given you a fresh perspective, or you've given yourself one. So with me on this. So as always, like please, it's never too late to say hi in the comments, whether you're watching live or in the replay. And I just wanna just like send us off with all like having really like beautiful feelings of generosity and appreciation for ourselves and for others, and sharing that so we can just continue to spread that energy and that love. So some of you guys know me as Minnie Tonk. I'm a burlesque dancer. I'm also Alyssa. I am a nutritional therapist and wellness coach, and it is my pleasure. It's so fun for me to come here live every day to share my reflections on the affirmation of the day. I will be back tomorrow and Friday as we kind of are winding down with August. So I will be back at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here, 12 p.m. Tomorrow and the next day. And until then, stay generous with yourself and with others. Bye for now.